Hello YouTube. Alright, this is Dave and I'm back, and I want to go over a few things that people seem to be misunderstanding here lately. They want to be, well, I've heard it called a fair weather Second Amendment advocate, and you need to do more than post little cute quotes on Facebook about how this and that is pro Second Amendment. That don't tell the legislators anything, okay? You need to tell the legislators to vote against this crap, okay? Because that's what's going to do the good. Like Haas USMC said, the pen is our weapon right now, okay? What comes after the pen, as he put it, you don't want to go there, okay? Because that's going to be ugly. We really don't want to do that, all right, guys and gals? We really want this to work out in a civil, peaceful way, okay? I mean, you need to tell your Congress people, because they're your representatives, all right? They represent you. They don't dictate what you're going to do. And as of late, we've been allowing them to dictate what we're going to do. A prime example of that is the National Defense Authorization Act. It gives the president sweeping powers for indefinite detention and all sorts of horrible things that we really shouldn't have allowed to get by. Another one is they re-upped the Patriot Act. Apparently it comes up for renewal every so often, and they voted it back in. Well, it's got all them sweeping surveillance powers, all that wiretapping and crap that's illegal. They can pretty much listen to anything they want to without a warrant. That means your Fourth Amendment rights to illegal search and seizure are gone. You know, there's a reason that the amendments are organized in the sequence they're in. Okay, you need to read about the founding debates and understand why the First Amendment has the freedom to speak and to address Congress for a redress of grievances, and the freedom of religion and all that's in the first one, because the British were real bad oppressive and wouldn't let them do those things. The second one was, we want to arm the populace so that crap don't happen again. The third one is quartering of troops, because the British could quarter their troops in our house, our forefathers' house, and there was nothing we could do about it. They could pretty much do anything they wanted, and there was no recourse for the person that owned the home. Then the Fourth Amendment, of course, is your right to illegal search and seizure. And the problem here is that this assault weapon ban that they're trying to pump through. All right, I have here an example of an evil assault rifle. It's an assault rifle, okay? It has a collapsing stock, has a pistol grip, has a detachable box magazine that holds 25 rounds, has a flash suppressor. This, by the definition of the 94 ban, is an assault rifle, even though it's in 22. That 223 crap that everybody's thumping their chest about, it ain't about the caliber, okay? It's about a gun that's efficient to use. That's all it is. Caliber has nothing to do with it. They're using the caliber as a tool in the media to demonize the guns, okay? Has nothing to do with that. It's an agenda. I ain't going to drift off into conspiracy theories and all that humbo jumbo, because there's plenty of that already on the internet. But suffice it to say, no good for the law-abiding populace would come from banning a rifle such as that, or a 223 variant, or banning capacity of magazines over 10 cartridges. No good will come from that. So why are they doing it? It's got to be an agenda. That's all that's left. All right? So, as an example, I have here a 1911. Okay? There's an old run-of-the-mill government model. All right? This gun typically holds 7 cartridges. There's different capacity versions, but it comes stock with a 7-round magazine, okay? A magazine is a device, it's a mechanism to deliver cartridges to a gun. A clip We'll give you a quick one. It's a little stamped sheet metal part that holds so many cartridges together. Okay, now that we've got that out of the way, but in all reality, I just reloaded 7 more cartridges into this 1911, and that's how long it took. Okay, this gun is just as deadly with 7 as it is with 20. Okay, the bullets coming out of this little hole right here are the deadly part. All right, that's the part that's going to do the damage. It has nothing to do with how many cartridges the gun will hold. They think that they can tell us that by limiting it to 10 cartridges, it's somehow not as deadly. Well, believe me, if you get shot with a rifle with 1 cartridge, it's deadly, okay? It doesn't take 30 of them to kill you, okay? And this whole spraying bullets thing, I have yet to see someone spraying anything, all right? It's all typically deliberate fire. And, yes, the guy in Colorado, the guy at the mall, and the guy supposedly at this school used an AR. There is so much ambiguity in the police report press releases that it's almost like they don't want you to know what he genuinely did. It's kind of weird. Started out with 2 sidearms, then it was 4, then the rifle was in the car, then he used it exclusively in the school, but he only had 4 sidearms, and something's not going on there. Something's going on that we're not being told, okay? And there's another problem. There's no oversight over the law enforcement in their investigation. They have a monopoly over investigating a crime scene. There needed to have been, unfortunately, civilians allowed in there to basically fact check what the police tell us. We just take it for granted that they're going to tell us the truth. There's so much inaccuracies in their press statements that we don't know what happened there. It's just messed up. Now, what we do know is that boy went in there and he murdered a bunch of people. We do know that. But it wasn't the gun that murdered those people. Okay? He could have went in there with a 5-gallon bucket of gasoline and threw it into that room along with a dadgum Zippo lighter and killed all them people with fire. He didn't have to use a gun. The gun was convenient. Okay? So banning them makes it inconvenient. Well, then he just steals one. Once again, it's convenient now. Sure, he broke one more law by stealing the firearm. That don't change the fact that there's going to be access to the guns. The black market in this world is rife with firearms. You don't have to look hard to find one on the black market, okay? I mean, you don't think there will be a incredible explosion in black market guns if you ban the guns? There will be one, okay? They'll come across that Mexican border because they're going into Mexico. They'll bring them right back over and sell them back to us. Don't think they won't do it. They will. There will be an incredible amount of black market guns. Okay. After I've drifted off onto a tangent, we need to get back on the subject here. The Second Amendment isn't about these guns in particular, okay? It's not about hunting. It's not about sport shooting. You know, that whole sporting purposes crap is something the ATF made up decades ago. And we let them. We keep letting them do these things. We got to learn not to do that. But the Second Amendment, I read all of the debates surrounding the ratification of the Bill of Rights, just so I would understand it. And the founders that done that, they saw the need for the Second Amendment to do 2 jobs. One was to allow the populace to resist tyranny. Everybody understands that. The second job is the one no one pays attention to. And it's like they don't want to do it for some reason, or like they're too lazy, maybe. But the second job is to amass a military force on a moment's notice to resist a foreign invader. You know, the militia is the average Joe, okay? It's not trained military personnel. But they did specify that you were supposed to be trained. That's what well-regulated meant. It didn't mean regulated by the government so that you could only do this. You need to read the definitions of those words from the period when they were written. Well regulated means well practiced or well trained. Okay, so you're supposed to be equipped like a foot soldier in our army. All right, equipped with the same hardware, the same capable equipment, and you're supposed to be practiced on your own enough with that equipment to be effective with it in battle. That way, on a moment's notice, they can amass an army of millions of people on demand to resist a foreign invasion. That's the purpose of that militia clause. It ain't nothing to do with the National Guard. If you stretched it really long and tried real hard, you could say that the National Guard is like an elite group of the militia. But that's a stretch, because they're funded by the government, regulated by the government. They don't take their arms home with them. They lock them in an armory so they don't have access to them. It's not a militia. The militia is supposed to have his weapon and ammo with it and ready to go all the time. And it hasn't got that in the National Guard. They don't get to carry their weaponry home. So that don't apply to that. But the way that we don't descend into a civil war, and we don't want to go there, because you don't want to do that. Look at the places that are doing that, and look at the footage. There's moms crying over their children who got shot by stray bullets between the rebels and the government. There's, houses burned to the ground with the occupants in them. There's, whole city blocks leveled by artillery fire because they're trying to snuff out a couple of rebels out of this neighborhood. You don't want that. That's horrible. Pick up your pen, type emails, make phone calls. Try to do the civilized way of preventing this mess from occurring. You're basically lobbying Congress, because that's your job, is to tell the representatives what you want them to do. Do that. Do that. Don't hope for a civil war. That's bad. We don't want to go there. Okay? We don't want to go there. That's all I got to say about that. See y'all later. Bye.